Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are looking at Apollo Origination 2's latest filing. And let me tell you, it involves so many amendments and agreements. You'd think they were writing a novel instead of running a company. But before we get lost in the legal maze, we'll cut through the red tape and get to the juicy details, particularly how they're managing their money and what it means for their future. If you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss the findings. So what's this filing about? It's an 8K report which companies file to announce major events. In this case, Apollo Origination 2, or rather its subsidiary Maple Funding, made some changes to its loan agreement. Think of it like this. They went back to the bank and asked for a better deal on their mortgage. Now, let's dive into that better deal. They've amended their secured credit facility with what they call the Fifth Credit Facility Amendment. This is basically their main loan agreement, and they made a few key changes. First, the interest rate they pay on the loan is going down. It's being reduced to 1.95% per year during the revolving period. The revolving period is when they can borrow, repay, and reborrow money. When they pay it back over a set time called the amortization period, the rate goes up a bit to 2.45% per year. So less interest for borrowing now. Next, the unused fee rate is going up to 0.75% per year. This is the fee they pay on the part of the loan they haven't used. So the incentive is for them to use all the money. And finally, they've increased the maximum commitment from $350 million to $50 million, the $500 million, now instead of just $350 million. This suggests that they foresee the need for more capital, meaning more money. Because these changes create a direct financial obligation for the company, they have to report it to the SEC, so everything we just talked about is considered a financial obligation, which is why it's included here. If you are interested in reading the fine print, it is included in the exhibits. Equity now, let's zoom out and put this into perspective. What does all this mean? Well, getting a lower interest rate is always good news. It means they'll pay less in interest payments, which frees up cash for other things like investments or paying down debt. The increased borrowing limit is interesting. It could mean they have big plans for expansion or acquisitions, or it could simply be a safety net in case things get tough. However, the increase in the unused fee might put pressure on them to use the money they are offered, regardless of whether they need it or not. So what's the overall picture? Well, it seems like Apollo Origination 2 is positioning itself for growth, but it's also taking on more debt to do so. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing depends on how well they manage that debt and how successful their investments turn out to be. Now, looking at these changes overall, Apollo Origination 2 seems to be strengthening its financial position by reducing borrowing costs and increasing its access to capital. This could allow them to pursue new opportunities and grow their business. However, the increased unused fee rate adds a bit of complexity as it creates an incentive to deploy capital even if it's not immediately needed. A question worth asking is if the company may be spreading itself too thin. Alright, that's our breakdown of Apollo Origination 2's latest filing. What's your take on these moves and what do they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.